Hello, board. This is a Plat 1-2 Doomfist VOD. We're going to be talking about how to make big plays and also the pre-fight. So, just for starters, let's take a look at this enemy comp here. In the first two rounds, which are going to be the only ones that I look at, they always run a brawl comp. So that could be a little bit difficult for Doomfist. When everybody's grouped up, it's hard to really pick out a singular target. So what you have to do is create a crossfire or create your own lane. So I don't really have anything in front of me to like demonstrate this, but if you have the two teams coming in front of each other, you have to take some kind of flank that is timed properly to displace them, right? You go and you jump in the middle of them and they all spread out. So now that brawl comp loses its effectiveness. Or you just you sit on high ground and you do a drop punch and you send them out. Everybody scatters. Your team can do their own thing and you can start to get some picks. As for some small general tips, make sure you take breaks in between games. Just straight grinding can really take a toll on your brain. You can get burned out faster. What I suggest is if you have a long queue time, just hit the Q button, take your headphones out so you can hear if the game starts, and then just get up for 30 seconds. Do some push-ups, fill up your water bottle. Really anything that's not scrolling on your phone or staring at the screen and playing deathmatch is a good option. You have to commit when you're playing this character. So we see this Sojourn, right? You go for the health pack, and that was actually pretty slick, but once you do that, punch your cooked. So there's two things we could have done here to fix this. For starters, you don't need to go for the health back here. Like, you have a solid amount of HP. So if you're gonna do that, just jump right on her face, and then okay, maybe you force the slide. That's good. She slides away. But then don't go for this, right? Or if you are gonna go for this, block. Definitely block. Because there's going to be some heavy cooldowns coming your way. You got two people focusing on you right now. And then you catch the attention of the Moira, right? That punch is what's good for you. So, either commit or get out of there. This illustrates another interesting point about Doomfist is what do you do in these early phases? But you kind of have the right idea, right? Get the hog out of the way and then take a flank. This is a good spot to be. I really like this for Doomfist because you can you get a feel of where everybody is. But then again, you gotta commit because poking these guys, all that does is let them know that you're there and screw up your setup phase. So instead, what we could do here is you punch the hog away. We take our flank. Wait a second, right? Maybe crouch behind here. Peek out, slam, right? Go for that Lucio. Punch that Moira, force her to fade, right? You could be getting at least one pick here, and even if you don't, you're at least enabling your team to get up here, right? This hog, who is currently the most aggressive target, I mean, even though they're retreating right now, maybe the Sojourn's the most aggressive target. You distract that attention, and then they can do their thing. This is our setup phase again, right? We got to figure out what we're going to do next. Well, they already got here. You have ult now. So when you have ult, the way it works for Doomfist is it's really just like a get-out-of-jail-free card. So all that means is, if you ever play Marvel Rivals, it's similar to Hela's ult, where you just kind of play as aggressive as you can until you're 1 HP, and then you pop ult. And you can either keep going, right, wait for your HP to come back, and then just right back in the fight, or you can retreat. So for you, we ult, right, very good timing on it. But this does nothing. For anybody, really. You have your HP back, and then that wasn't a bad punch. I mean, it was a nice setup, but let's look at some other possible options here. So we could, for one, this Freya is not really getting much attention. You could drop on this Freya, shoot her, come back on the health pack, and you could still retreat without having too much trouble. The safer option would be, oh my god, this thing moves so slow, would be to go for the most aggressive target, which right now is none of these people. Oh, geez, hold up, I gotta figure out how to work this. It's this Moira back here. And this Moira actually continually causes problems, and you just ignore her. I mean, I get it, you're the tank, you're being up front, but if you want to make plays, the first priority is making sure that your team is good. And that would be done by dealing with the most aggressive target. Which could be tank. Right now it's tank, right? That's a good punch. But there's a lot of times where it seems like you're not really looking for the most aggressive target, and you're just going in, right? And you're just attacking the first person you see. Which sometimes you get lucky, and that is, right? That is the most up-close person. But at the end of the day, you need to be actively looking around and seeing, okay, who's causing the most trouble right now? This, I really like this for Doomfist. This is a great spot to be. And this shows how crucial a good setup is. Because if you just sat on main and was like punching the hog, you would not have the perfect opportunity to get right behind these guys. I mean, they're done. They're done. If you didn't have this absolute cancer of a character that is Kiriko, they would be dead. And even then, you know, you're giving your team charge. Nice punch. I watched this like so many times over when I was doing this VOD. Because this is just so cool with the spin around punch. I love it. Anyways, but why did we lose that fight? Let's take a look here. Because there are definitely some things we could have done different. And I think it starts with your ult. Where are we? Yes, this is where we want to be. Okay, so this is good, right? We get the punch. Oh, so clean. And, you know, they start messing around with you. You throw your next punch. Don't ult right away, right? I mean, just because you don't have all your cooldowns doesn't mean you're useless as Doomfist, right? We can peek around this corner and we can poke shots and we can keep this backline over here, right? This Sojourn wouldn't be like, oh, okay, I can get up here and I can be aggressive now. This Freya would walk up. This Kiriko might go over to the hog. So make sure you're low when you're using your ult, because if not, it can be. It just feels hasty, you know. We could have timed this better. Good pick though. There's a point in time here where the Moira was right here, yeah. This Moira was destroying your backline, and I mean you deal with it for a second, but then you're like, oh okay, I want to fight the hog now. And while you're fighting this hog, the Moira is still eating up this backline, and then she has ult, which you could have just punched away, but instead she kills 3 and drive your Hanzo away. Right? And that's why it is so crucial to attack the most aggressive target. It's gonna be we're gonna be repeating kind of similar stuff, but I want to talk about engagements right off the bat here, because like this, I get why you're sticking around, because it's like, oh, I want to be with my team. But at the same time, you have to be the one to start things. You got to be the one to start causing problems, because if not, they're going to move in on you. And I feel like we don't really know what we're doing here. We're like, oh, okay, I'm going to poke at the hog, and just wait for somebody to push up, right? But by the time you've made a decision, which I don't even know if you have made a decision, you get pulled. And honestly, you should be dead. I don't know why you're alive right now. So move on them before they can move on you. That would be my voice here, especially at the beginning of the game, because that entry can really determine who gets the momentum and who gets the first point. And I mean, you actually do kind of save this with that punch, and then you and the Genji really clean stuff up. That's just that's just good stuff. I don't really got anything to say about that. Okay, we're setting up now. So where do we want to set up? Ooh, this is a good spot, right? We can jump over here. We can do some sneaky stuff, which I think you do actually do later through the game here. But nonetheless, yes, here we go. I like this setup. This is really clean, right? We're on the backline. Solid punch. Kill the Kiriko. But this is where it becomes an attention problem. Okay, right? We have the old get out of jail free card. We're pushing through. And this is all good, right? We're causing chaos. But there is one nagging, very short problem here that you have chosen to ignore for about a solid 15 seconds. And it is a big reason as to why you died. You were so tunnel visioned that you didn't even notice that you were getting absolutely slammed in the back by this Tracer, right? I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I think you get locked in on a target, and then you just stay, and you're like, I have to kill this guy, or, you know, I'm coming out with 1 HP. Like, those are the only options. But because of that, because you were so locked in on these guys, this Tracer, I mean, she's just sitting here poking at you for fun. She forces your roll, and then she waits for you to come back. She finishes you off. When you get in a position where it looks like you can start to make a play, think less about the kills and more about the pressure. Think about how you can get the most aggressive target to back up, or how you can get your team to have maybe a little more. Are we in the right spot? I think so. To think about how you can enable your team to make more plays, because that's worlds more important than getting picks. So really just look around, make sure you know what's going on and who you're attacking, and don't just like run around and mindlessly cause chaos. We have a very good example of it. So we're sitting here, charge a punch, we miss it because this Triton is blinking around. And then we charge again, we jump right off. Right? Okay, it happens. But if you were watching this Tracer and just waiting for her to be out of blinks or wait for her to recall and just give her a little pop, that'll deal more than enough damage. That'll stun her for more than enough time for you to get easy 2 headshots on her. Right? As I was saying. Cap punches. Right? Even at the higher levels, sometimes you see that's all they do. Right? Only charge punch at that scenario with the bridge. Right? Where you're like, okay, they don't even know I'm here. I can set it up, and it's an easy punch to the back of the head. All right. Next up here, this is another setup issue. This is good, right? We could chill here, wait for our team to be here, and this is even good, right? Because then we could jump over here, we could drop down, or we could jump on this Cassidy. But we do something much more interesting. I just want you to reflect on that for a minute. We're gonna play that back. Don't poke the Cassidy. Just get in there, man. You got a big gauntlet for punching people, and you're sitting here poking this guy with a shotgun. This is almost never the option. Just get in his face. Just get up there. Okay. A little late to the game, but you know, it happens. But now, okay. Now your DPS and your squad are dead. And okay, you get ult. And that was a pretty good ult. I can't even lie. But like, what were we doing, man? What were we doing? Alright, and I think the rest of this game goes pretty solid, actually. Right? Oh, a cap punch. Just wait for her to blink. Bam! Right? That charge punch ain't doing you nothing. Ooh, there's a good tap punch. Like to see that. But no, I mean, good job. You were pretty solid here. But it's very important to be watching these sorts of things. All right, let's do a little bit of recap before we finish up this video. So, if there were the main things that I really want you to get out of this is setup is one of the most important things on every single character. Setup and timing, right? So setup is always going to be before or right after a fight. That is taking high ground, finding good angles, and that's really what determines who's gonna come out on top or who's gonna have the serious advantage. So every time you're not doing something, just stop, look around, and figure out where you can go. Our next thing is ult is a get out of jail free card, and it should be used like to the bitter end, right? Like I want to be practically dead. I want to waste as many cooldowns as possible before I pop that ult. It's really about causing chaos and then not having any repercussions. That's what his ult is about. Really commit to, right? We saw that with the Sojourn at the beginning, and we saw that with the poke battle with the Cassidy, right? If you're gonna do something, you gotta go in and do it. Let's see here. I think that's just about everything. Oh yeah, and tap punches. Tap punches they're so good. And I'm telling you, like I'm more of a delayed gratification guy, right? You won't see these things help you until like practicing them repeatedly and getting them ingrained in your head. But if you start tap punching people, I'm telling you right now, you will survive more and you will get more kills. It's just simple as that. All right, but honestly, I'm pretty impressed with your gameplay, especially for the rank that you're at, and I can see you getting somewhere. You seem like a pretty conscientious guy about your gameplay. Like you're very aware of what's going on, and you really want to improve. So take it one step at a time. Pick one of these things, and then work on it for however long. Some people do a day, some people do a week. I personally do a week. That's just because I really like to ingrain it in my head. But honestly, just do whatever works for you, one step at a time. Make sure you're taking breaks.
Always one step at a time. Period.
That's about it. So yeah, I will be sending this out to you. Good job, man.